All right, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Today, we definitely have a special guest. Renato is here from Brazil. I've met him last year, and ever since we met, I think he's attended for sure 80% of the sessions. He's very keen to the program, and I'm very happy to have him here. Also, to call him my assistant or my friend or whatever. I have so many things like my colleague. We do lots of things together. There's a group that we started also with Julian at the Nilso. So he's very, uh, oh, actually, that's going to be my first question. Just give me a second. So he's very busy, a busy guy, very involved with English Brazil. I think he dreams, wakes up, and go to bed thinking in English. So he's here to talk about his life and his activities with us today. So please, Renato, give us a little introduction, and I'm going to be the first one to ask question because I have my hands up already. Okay.
Okay. Hi, people. I think my name is Renato, and my birthplace is Santos in São Paulo State, Brazil. And I moved to São Paulo when I got married, when I was 27. Okay. After living in São Paulo for 30 years, I came back to Santos 12 years ago. Yeah. Now I am 70 and I was officially married for 11 years and I got divorced in 1992. But I have a good relationship with my ex-wife, and I have two daughters and five grandchildren. Okay, and I've been a girlfriend since 2002, and we decided to live together 2 years ago after my mother passed away. And when I call her my girlfriend, after 22 years, my lawyer says to me that I am the only person that calls her my girlfriend. Okay, my lawyer is it's a it's a guy that play a joke on me because that, yeah. But I have a bachelor degrees in business administration, a post graduation in marketing in ESPM, and a specialization in finance from FGV. Okay, and I live in Santos. Santos is a coastal city in São Paulo State. It was founded in 1546. That is 479 years ago. Okay. Many people consider Santos one of the best cities to live. Okay? Santos and São Vicente, the place where João lives, are an island. Okay, island of São Vicente. And Santos is a well-known city because Santos Football Club and Pelé. Okay, and besides, it's the most important port in Latin America, and from which different goods are shipped, import and export. Okay, and it's a tourist region too. Yeah, and the population here is 434,000 434,000 people. Yeah, and spread in an area of 280,000 square kilometers. So the population density index is 1,490 people for square kilometers. Okay, just to have a comparison, New York has a populational index of 1,000 people living there. Okay, and yeah, that's it. It's a beautiful place. Well, in terms of background, I worked my first jobs were in banks. So in 1982, I moved I worked for an American multinational company, yeah, called DuPont. Then I moved to another. I switched for a Swedish company, another multinational company called AB Gas Accumulator, a Swedish company. So it's a European company, and I stayed there for 5 years, 6 years. Then I work in a Brazilian company called Localiza Rent a Car. It's a company its headquarters is in Belo Horizonte. Then I moved again. I moved again. I was hired for after Localiza. I was hired for a Dutch company called Leaseplan. Leaseplan. It's a company that belongs to the former ABN Aero Bank. Yeah. So it's another European company too. And then I changed my job. I became director of another Brazilian company, new business director, financial director, and after 1 year, after later, I came back to the same company to become the franchising director. Okay. After that, in 2006, I opened my own business. I have a consultants company. Then I stayed working till 2011. Then I decided to come back to Santos. Okay, I just kept some consultants jobs till maybe 2010, 2011. Then I retired. So nowadays my business is take care of my money, okay, my investments. I like to invest in some companies in the stock market. Um, I like to study English, yeah? And what else? Well, I think that this is my. I love to ride my motorcycle. I'm preparing my next trip. In 2 weeks, I'm going to the south of the country. I'm going to run for 600 kilometers, and that's the main thing that I do in my life. Okay, and that's it. I have my hobbies. I have my habits, and I love to travel. Yeah, that in a in a nutshell, that's it's my I can say my resume. Yeah.
Okay, Renato, that was a very long and very detailed
Yeah.
introduction, but it's
70
still, I'm
years,
pretty
70
sure.
years, you have a lot of history to tell. Yeah. So I
Yes.
think that,
So I'm sure lots of people has questions already. So my question to you is, um, as you described, you're very, very busy. Yeah? You worked for sure more than 50 hours a week and always in the move, working a lot. How it was for you to retire, and it seems like you're busier now than when you used to work. So how do you explain that?
no, I think that I'm not, I can say that I'm not so busy because I have, nowadays, I get to have a different, more free schedule. Okay. I don't have some commitments that I have to follow. Just, I have the commitment with English Brazil. Okay. On some days of the week, Wednesday and Thursday. And what else? And well, dealing with money, I think that I have my own time to deal with it. Okay, I don't I can I follow the investments every day, but I don't like to deal with, to handle stock market. I like to invest money in companies that are listed in the exchange market. Okay, so I don't waste too much time in it. I have time enough to take care of my life, to travel, to do things that I love, to go to the gym, and to keep my good habits. Yeah,
All right. Thank you. Adenilson?
Hello, Renato. Hello, guys. It's a pleasure for
my
me to
friend.
be here with you. And first, Santos brings me, I would say, a bittersweet memory, good memory
Oh,
and bad memory. Why? Because it was in Santos that I first saw the sea. It was incredible for me. I've never had seen the sea. Santos, for me, it's the first city that I saw the sea. And also when me, my wife, and our daughter, she was 5, and we forgot her birth certificate, and we are about to take a cruise ship in Santos, and it
Ah,
was a hassle because we were supposed to take a bus in Limeira and go there by bus, but the bus driver didn't accept us inside the bus because we had no document. So I had to drive all the way from Limeira to Santos, and then I had to beg the federal police officer to let us go inside the cruise ship. It was a adventure. I Guys, I need to take like 1 hour to explain to you about this adventurous trip. But Santos, I've been to Santos, I think 3 times. My daddy, he is a Santos. He roots for a Santos Football Club, and I went there to know the stadium. But these last holidays, I traveled to Guarujá, is next to Santos, and I confess I was afraid to go there because, I saw the news that the criminals there, the violence in Santos and Guarujá, it was terrible, and we decided not to go out during the night. So, and we stay during the whole day at the inside the house. But my cousin, when we got there, told me about another thing that was going on there, the outbreak of a viral infection. So she told us not to go inside the sea because a lot of people getting sick there. There was no medication. And my question is, how is the violence today in Santos? Like it is a safe place to go during the night, to go out during the night. And how about this outbreak of this kind of viral infection? Because we see in the cities more situated at the north part of the state, the coastal cities. At the north, we don't have this problem with viral infection. Why there is this problem? So many people getting sick in Santos, Renato.
well, about the outbreak, I think that, well, that's a thing that I heard that happened. Yeah. I think that I didn't was affected because that I went to the sea, I swim all the weeks here in Santos. I didn't have problem. I don't know if I have a kind of immunity of God help me to be safe. But anyway, I didn't have any kind of problem with this outbreak. In terms of violence, I think that Guarujá was one of the best, beautiful cities in the coast of Brazil, but the violence there is really hard. Okay, I think that now Guarujá is suffering the consequence of really bad administration and corruption. Okay, so I think that Guarujá is suffering a lot, and Guarujá is one of the most beautiful cities in the country, you can say. And but unhappily, the violence there is spread over the city. Yeah. And so I believe that I don't have this any problem with this any problem with virus or with the sea. Yesterday I went to the sea. I went to the sea 2 times, and I swim a lot and I didn't have problem. Okay, but I think that you have to be aware about this kind of outbreak. Yeah.
All right. Hey there is ready. If you don't have a question about the city, let's just check a little bit. So, how far is Santos from Guarujá, Denilson?
Yeah,
Let,
he reduced
let
the
us
map.
see. It's not that
Yeah.
far.
You can see that Santos and Guarujá are in an island. It's called São Vicente Island. Okay, it's reduce a little bit the map. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, and so pull to the right. Yeah. So you see that. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. You see that's the São Vicente Island. São Vicente it's a island that uh, has Santos and Guarujá, okay, two cities. And you see that there is a narrow part of the river that separate the island from the rest of the continent. It's almost it's difficult to perceive the difference of being in an island, but it's really an island. Okay, Guarujá is here. It's an island of Santo Amaro. Okay, you have to take a ferry, or you can go by a highway. and you reach Guarujá if you come from São Paulo. Okay, São Paulo is in the north. The capital is in the north of the state. Yeah. So you have two ways to reach there. But I used to go to Guarujá when I go to Guarujá because I go sometimes there. Yeah, yeah. For example, yesterday night I went to a party or for a dinner with some friends in Guarujá, and I took a ferry. Okay, I took a ferry crossing Ponta da Praia. Okay,
Mhm.
to Guarujá. It takes 10 minutes to cross the sea, and sometimes the ferry has to stop because this place is the entrance of the port. Okay, the ships come from the high sea and goes to the port. Okay, here is the picture shows the ferry crossing the sea going to Guarujá and back. Okay, from Guarujá to Santos too. So this is another alternative to reach Guarujá. So this is a ship full of containers. Okay, and there are goods that come from all parts of the world to Santos port. Yeah, and you
Renato,
have
how
the
much does it cost, the crossing? Is it
no,
expensive?
you pay to pay by car, you pay 12 reais. Okay, you can need something like $2. And
10 minutes.
if 10 minutes, yeah, 10 minutes. And by motorcycle, you pay 6 reais, okay, $1. Yeah.
Okay.
And I used to go there by motorcycle. Yeah. So it's not so expensive, but you take at least at most 10 minutes to cross the sea. Not so much. It depends on the level of the sea. Yeah. Sometimes it
Yes.
takes more or less. Yeah.
Okay,
It
thanks,
depends.
Renato. Okay, hey
Thank you,
there.
thank you.
Question.
Hello, hello, guys. Hello, hello. Good morning. Hello, Renato. So, Renato,
Harder.
in January last year, I went to Santos by car. All right, I drive along Rio Santos
Oh my gosh.
Highway. Yeah, to get a ship. All right, to cruise. I
Ah,
took a cruise to know the new cruise that came to Brazil, but the ship just leave from Santos, Port Santos. All right. I spent
Yeah.
2 days in Santos, and I visited the beach garden, Santos Beach Garden. All
Uh-huh.
right. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
And in this opportunity, I heard that the Santos Beach Garden is the largest beach garden in the world. My
Yeah.
question is this true?
Yeah.
The,
Yeah.
yeah.
Santos has the biggest, according to the Guinness Book of 2002, Santos has the biggest waterfront garden in the world. Okay,
Denise,
it's
can you share? I don't know. I didn't know about that. So how does
yeah,
it look like?
it's
I'm
five
searching now
kilometers.
for the images. Let me share with you guys.
Yeah, it's 5 kilometers, and of this 5 kilometers and 300 meters. Yeah. So you can see yeah, let me see what pic. This one, the middle of
Well,
the
this
Santos
one.
Seashore Garden. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
this one.
Wow.
This is part of the garden. It's 5 kilometers of a continuous garden. Okay, it's well treated, and the city hall take care of the garden because it's one of the main attractions of Santos. Okay, so you can biking by a bike lane. There is a bike lane at the side of the garden, and you can run. And besides that, Santos has a advantage for people that likes to work out. Yeah, this is a bike lane, okay, in
Hmm.
the middle of the garden. Yeah. So Santos it's a beach, a kind of beach that has a hard sand. So it's very good to run. Okay, people that enjoy workout to run or to practice or hiking or something like that, it's a nice place to do that because you have flat sand. Yeah, it's hard and flat, so it's a good place to work out. Yeah, and so Santos is a very sportive city. You have a lot of sports that have been practiced here in Santos. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Really, it's amazing garden. I had the opportunity to walk across this garden.
Very good.
Unfortunately, I didn't have time to enjoy a little more because I needed to took my ship. All right, but guys,
Ah, yeah, yeah.
I really recommend if you visit Santos. Uh, I really recommend relax in the Santos Beach Garden and drink
Yeah.
coconut water there or even caipirinha.
Yeah, no, I'm suspect to
Yeah.
talk. I'm suspect about talk about my city because like I was last Thursday, for example, me and João met in a bar at night at 10 p.m. We don't worry about violence. Okay, I went home by walking. I didn't have this kind of worry. Okay, so Santo is I can say that's in comparison with cities of the country, Santos is a place where you can have a safety life. Okay, this is an aspect uh, uh, of Santos. Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you, Heider. Daniel.
Hello, everyone. I'm very glad to be here. Oh, Renato, as Simone said at the beginning of the meeting of this session, you are an engaged person with these sessions, and I would like to know how long have you been involved in these international meetings, and what role has this multicultural interaction played in shaping your worldview or personal growth?
Well, yeah, this is an interesting question, Daniel, because well, until my first language, my when I started studying language, my first language was French. Yeah. Imagine that I was born in 1954. Okay. So my French language was French. I studied French for some time. But in when I was 15, I started to study English. And then I remember that I met a teacher that was a former mariner. And he was a guy that was important for me, but he makes me feel confident about speaking English. Yeah. And he got to make me more fluent. Yeah. But okay, I didn't study English too much. I just studied English regularly in some schools here in Sant. But in 1982, I moved to São Paulo and started to work in an American multinational company. Okay, so I have to had to study English anyway. If I didn't do that, I would be fired. Okay, so I have to just a question of survive. Okay, and so I had to study. So I started studying English more deeply. Yeah. And that was my first experience. But I remember that about that time, I have to study or to learn specific words involve my job. Okay, because I started working there when I went to that multinational company. I work in the financial department, so I start to learn a lot of terms or to use a lot of terms related to financial. Okay, so that was my experience. When I moved to the Swedish company, the accent changed completely because Swedish people speak in a different way. They have different accents. So I have to adapt for that kind of pronunciation and things like that. Okay. Then I moved to a Brazilian company with a company that I became director. And then I came back to a Dutch company, another European company too. Yeah. But there is an interesting aspect because I play volleyball for a long time. Okay, change subject. I play volleyball for a long time. But the first trip that I have abroad was playing volleyball. Yeah, I play volleyball till 23, 24 in a high level. Okay, so I travel in some countries of South America, and I think that this developed the wish that I love the wish to travel. Yeah. So then I went to in 1997 I went to California, San Francisco, and I got my Michigan certificate there. So and I came back to Brazil and kept studying little regularly English regularly. Yeah, and then just to make it shorter, in 2017, I went to Canada and United States, California, Toronto and New York. Okay, I stayed there for some time, and then when I was in Toronto, I was informed by I knew a meetup, a platform where you have English merchant. English Merchant was the former platform before English Brazil. Yeah. So I start participate here in Brazil in English Merchant in face-to-face meetings. Yeah. And then I see that I should be much more in contact with the language to become more confident. Okay, I make a lot of mistakes when I speak. I make mistakes even speaking Portuguese. Okay, but I think that I got the confidence to speak more. Okay, to become more parrot. Okay, and so I start to study English to train English much, and then in 2019, Bruce split the company. He left the English Brazil and he left English Merchant and create English Brazil. Okay, but next we have the pandemic. After the pandemic, during the pandemic, the virtual connection, the virtual sessions start. Okay, so that was a big challenge for Bruce. Okay, I met Bruce here in Santos for 4 or 5 times. Okay, and but I think that he succeeded. Yeah, because he got to transform English Brazil in a very good English platform. Yeah, and well, I always love to. I always like to travel. Okay, for example, I'm going to Italy next April. I'm going to Italy again. I think that I have already visited 15 countries in my life, so I love to travel. Yeah. So that's it. In short, is that. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for your answer because I feel the same about the part that you mentioned it, that they start developing the English because of work. I feel the same. It's the
Yeah.
reason I started focus on English. But right now, it's all these meetings and interactions. I think I'm interested in a lot more, because it's a world of possibilities, a world of cultures. So I'm very glad to have the opportunity of having these
Yeah.
interactions, attend these meetings. Thank you for your answer.
Yeah, and just to add, I think that I was involved during my work life in companies. I have some situation that I have to really to struggle because I have to overcome for situations that sometimes I didn't get to understand some words. Okay, so what can I do? So I tried to understand the context that I was involved. Okay, so I got to communicate. I got to convey the message that I want. But I think that it's a common question. People say, "Oh, I would like to be fluent." For me, be fluent is when you get to convey a message and understand the message. This is okay. If you are going to travel, for example, if you get to be understandable, if you get to deliver or to convey your message, I think that you can say that you are fluent for travel. Okay, but if you need to be more specific, work in a company or make a speech or make a lecture, something like that. So I think that you have to have a deeper knowledge of the language. Okay, you have to have another a kind of experience deeper. Yeah. I think that if I got the certificate, I could be more fluent. But the certificate is just a paper. I think that you have to practice. This is the way to shadowing, repeat word, and this is the. I think that this is the hint that I can say people that wants to speak more or to become more fluent. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Welcome.
Renato, that was really amazing. Great answer. And Danielle, we're also very glad to have you here. You know, you're always welcome. Okay, first timer, João. I'm very curious about your question.
Hello, everyone. So my question to Renato, because I know him
Put him
well,
on
I
the
guess.
spot, please. Things that we
No,
wouldn't
come
dare,
on.
that you can do it for
I
us,
could.
please.
No, he's my friend. I couldn't do that. I'll keep your secrets very well kept, Renato. Don't
Oh,
worry.
gonna have to book another
So,
session to get all these
yeah.
juices.
Yeah, he have
But
been my birth. He have been my 70th birthday with
yeah,
Bruce and Vanderlei and the other friends of Polyglotas. Yeah,
was
he's
a
an
very
old
nice
friend of
guy.
mine. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Renato, my question to you is, because I know that you're a very smart guy, a very curious guy, always eager to learn new things, and very interested in languages, mainly, right? Especially
Yeah.
English. I want to know what do you do on a daily basis to keep your English alive? Like, how do you make it a part of your day? Like, during your routines, do you listen to podcasts? Do you watch series, movies, or what else? What else do you do to try to make the English language active in your brain? And also, do you have any curiosity to learn any other language?
Well, I'm going to answer by the last one. I'm study Italian because I'm going to Italy to the north. I'm going to the center and north of Italy next April. So I try to learn Italian. Okay. My Italian is not so good. I'm using Duolingo to learn. I don't know if I'll be able to understand something when I get there, but I might try. Okay. Well, I don't like to watch too much movies. Yeah. Sometimes I watch parts of movies and I try to understand the connections that people, the way they speak, the connections they do. I like to shadowing I like to shadowing. I like to repeat. I like to understand the connection people do. So, for example, what I gonna do? Okay, what the first time that I was, what I gonna do? I say, oh, what these guys say? What I gonna do? Okay, so I understand the connections that native people speak. And besides, as everybody knows, there are more people speak English that are no native, okay, than people that are the native. So you have the different accents that sometimes you have to pay attention. Okay. So, João, I think that I like to shadowing, as I told you. I think that people say we have the job to prepare the CS, the conversation checks in sessions in Brazil for English Brazil. When I prepare the conversation sections, it's an opportunity that I have to to talk about different subjects, talk about psychology, talk about life, talk about trips, talk about food, talk about sports, hobbies, and so on. So I think that this is a kind of opportunity that I have to prepare different subjects, and I try to speak about this subject using the use some accent of English or American accents. I think that in spite of have been work for or have worked for two European companies, I like to speak more the American accent. So I've tried to follow more American accent. And sometimes I have difficulty to understand some English talked by European, mainly by British people. I remember that the first time that I have two funny jokes. The first time that I went to London, that was many years ago, I remember that I get there and I said, "Oh, come on, I think that everybody taught me wrongly because during 2 weeks I didn't get to understand nothing. I didn't get to understand any word in English when I was in London. Then after the second week, I got to understand." And another funny history was in New York 6 years ago. I was in a restaurant and in the restaurant in Brooklyn. Then I was hungry, and the waiter asked me, I think that I have told this history here. The waiter asked me, "Do you want super salad? Do you want super salad?" Well, I said, "Oh, come on, super salad, a big salad, super salad. Okay, I'm going to eat the super salad." No, the waiter, no, not super salad. You want soup or salad? You have to choose. You have to choose between the two of them. So it's a kind of a pronunciation that you have difficult to understand sometimes mainly in New York, people in New York speak a little bit faster. Yeah. So I remember this situation. So I think that an interesting point, João, is pay attention on the connections that are made in English, mainly American English, okay? Because American likes to create phrasal verbs and connections every day. Yeah. So I think that this is the hint that I would like to give for people. Pay attention to these connections. So the rest is training. Listen as much, be in contact with the language as much you can. So that is it. Yeah.
Thank you, Renato. That's a very good tip to pay attention to the connections, right? And because in Portuguese, like I heard that Portuguese is based on syllabus, right? And English is in stress. So when they stress some part of the word of the phrase, the parts that don't get stressed, they are not pronounced so clearly as the stressed parts. And then they
Yeah.
make the connections, and if your ear is not trained, it makes it hard to understand. So very
Yeah,
good
sure.
tip.
Yeah, okay. Welcome.
All right, Jenna, we have a question as well.
Yes. So if I visit a city, I'm mainly interested in the history part of of cities. I'm not a beach girl, and Santos has a lovely beach I see, but I would be bored to hell if I was be on a beach the whole day. So I visit always the history parts, old buildings, and I'm very interested in those parts. And Santos, yeah, I was looking on internet, and I don't find much about the history of Santos. I find that they have a lot of football players that are famous for some reason.
Yeah.
So, but and Santos is about getting their 500-year anniversary, if I've seen good in 20 years like this. So, is there still a part of Santos that remains of the history from the foundation of the city that you can visit? Or are there other parts of the city where you can visit to find out the history about the city?
Yeah, no, here in Santos, you have a lot of historical places to visit, okay? Brazilians in general are not so aware about preserve some memories of the place, yeah. But here, you still have a lot of places that you can visit, place that belongs to the foundation of the foundation of the city. You have some museums. You have some parts of the city that are still preserved. Okay, but Santos has an interesting history. Yeah, and because Santos had I can say have two parts of in history. There was the old part of the history because the old part of Santos was nowadays the old downtown. Okay, so people that lived in Santos in that time come to the beach as a kind of holiday, a kind of vacation. Okay, so that was interesting. Then after maybe 200 years, the coast or the beach start to improve. Yeah, they built many buildings. They built many buildings, and the old part of the city become a kind of historical place of the city. So you have some old theaters. You have a old prison. You have some house that belongs that keep the same characteristics of the past. Yeah, but you don't have too much history to visit here in Santos. You can say that have histories from 200 years ahead. Yeah, so you can know a lot of history because Santos was always a place where you have a very political group of people that had a big influence in Brazil history. Yeah. So, I think that most of the history of Santos remain or comes from the 200 years now. Yeah, this is I can say the history of the city, the memories of the city. Yeah, and Santos is a tourist city, and you have, for example, Museu Pelé, Pelé Museum. Yeah, and it's an
Yeah.
attraction of many for many people that love that like sports, for example. And you have some hills that are interesting, some sightseeing. Santos has beautiful sightseeing. Yeah, and that is it. I think that's a mix of. um I think a mix of business city and tourist city. Yeah, and so that's it. That's the characteristic of the city. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, because like yesterday I was in Ghent. We have that city has a very historic center, Bruges even more, and we went like to visit some old palaces. You could for free how the people lived like 200 years ago with the furniture still inside and an explanation. And one of those
Uh,
palaces was like where the king of France was in there when he was escaping the revolution. He stayed over there for a few months, and
uh-huh.
the lord of that manor had to move to an apartment because the king was over there, and he had like, "Fuck off, you! I have to move there."
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
So no,
Yeah.
but it's nice to know it's still part of the history has remained. So
Yeah, and I think that I
thank
don't
you.
know if the news has some interesting detail about the buildings of the inclined buildings. Do you have the image, the news, the image of the inclined buildings? Because I'm going to Italy and I'm saying
Yeah,
to
I'm gonna share.
Simone on the news that I don't need to go to Pisa because here in Santos we have our Pisa. Okay, do you agree, João? You have our own Pisa. So you don't need to go you don't need to go to Pisa in Italy to visit the Pisa Tower. You see? Can you
Oh,
see?
how long is
Can you?
that?
I think that this building was built 60 years ago, 70
Oh,
years
But are
ago,
there people
something.
living inside?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Really?
There are people.
But
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
dangerous to collapse?
No, it is not. It is not. Yeah. So it's a
Crazy.
curious. When you see this inclined building from the beach, okay, from the sea, because from the sea, yeah, from the beach, you say, oh, come on, this building is going to drop, yeah,
yeah.
it's going to fall. It's impossible to keep ahead, to keep up, yeah. But
Oh,
the problem is the kind of ground that you hear in Santos. And
yeah.
here, this is a problem for building companies here because they, the construction companies, the building companies, spend much more money with the structures of the building, the pillars of the building. They have to be pillars with the double of size of the
Look,
natural
Renato, there is a
the regular.
comparison. There is a comparison. Pizza
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Because that I said I don't need to go to pizza. Yeah, we have our own pizza here. Okay, so it's
Uh,
it's funny, but some people say, "Well, what are you? How can you do? How can you do to live in a building like that?" because you
Oh
don't.
my God.
It's interesting because some people built table inclined to keep the dishes in the same level. It's a kind of curiosity. Yeah, people that live there. So
Yeah,
that's
there's
it.
Cool.
we have an
Because
amusement park over here in Germany, a Phantasialand, and that attraction is gone now. But they had the leaning house in there, and that was also people had to go in there, and everything was built crooked, so it was like people were sitting right, but everything was like that. So
yeah,
those people live like that their life.
and it is too expensive to put the builds in the same level. It's not so cheap. So they sometimes do some things. There are some builds that were aligned, okay, that were put in the same level. But you have many builds here that are bent, but because the ground. My family has a building company here in Santos, and they spend a lot of money to build buildings. Yeah, and sometimes they use one of the last building that my family built was a building with 65 pillars inside the ground,
Oh my
and
God.
some of them the pillars didn't reach the stone part of the ground. Okay, so they increase the stack, and they keep the building in a line. Yeah, this is the how they do, but it's really expensive to build building here in Santos. Yeah, because the
Wow.
because the ground because the
It
ground.
was really, really funny and interesting. All right,
Yeah, yeah.
Jordan's back with another question.
Either.
Oh, okay, sorry, sorry. So, Renato, could you tell us about the partnership between federal government and the São Paulo state to build a bridge between Santos and the continent? What are the expectations about this future bridge?
Well, I don't like to talk
Sorry,
too
sorry.
much. I don't like to
So,
talk too. Okay, okay, go ahead.
about the bridge, all right, not political.
Yeah, but this
Yeah.
involves politics. Do you know how long I have been listening to this bridge connecting Santos to Guarujá? I wasn't born when this discussion started. Okay, so more than 70 years. Yeah, so I think that, and I think that for example, in Netherlands they built this kind of bridge in a year and a half. Okay, but here it took 70 years to start the project. So, can you imagine how difficult it is to deal with political problems to solve a problem that is related to our region? So, it will be a very good thing, yeah, because it will facilitate the connection among the continent, between the island and the continent. Okay, but I think that I don't know. I think that people is not so much interested on give premium for the current politicals, yeah, politicians. Sorry, for the current politicians. So this happened. They are always postpone the construction of the tunnel. It's not a bridge, a tunnel. They are trying to build a tunnel under the sea, okay, connect the two places, Guarujá and Santos. Yeah. But I don't know if I'll be alive to see this bridge, to see this tunnel. Okay.
Okay, I got it. They just signed the project and just did no bridge.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
I think the answer was clear.
Yeah.
yeah.
Just made a ceremony to sign the project. Just did. Okay. Thank
Oh,
you.
ceremonies. Ceremony happens. I think that have already happened 10 times.
All right, let's move
Thank
on.
you.
Fabio, please go ahead. Do you have a question?
Hello, everybody. Hello, Renato. Nice to see you.
I'm a friend.
Uh, Everybody knows you are a biker like me. because you are always talking about it. So I live in a city named Salvador, like Santos, close to the sea, and we have different ways to get some how can I say to relax. One of my favorite way to relax, to forget my problems, is take my motorcycle and go to somewhere. You know, and
Yeah.
I'd like to ask you about it. How important is motorcycle in your life? Because you are always talking about motorcycle, and I know that motorcycle is not just a transportation for you. You know, uh, what it means for you? How do you use it? How important is motorcycle or bikers in general in your life?
Well, I think that I like to ride my motorcycle because some purpose. First of all, it's a way to socialize, okay? Because for my case, for example, I belongs to three groups. This is one of my motorcycle, and I belong to three groups, motorcycle groups. So you travel a lot. In February, you are going to Itajaí, in the beginning of the month. Then I'm going to Minas Gerais in the end of February by motorcycle. Yeah. And when I went to Portugal in 2023, I rented a motorcycle to run by Ilha da Madeira. It was very good because it was easy to park and is easy to visit the place. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think that, as you said, it's a good way to relax. Yeah, because you have to pay attention on the ride. You have to pay attention the way, and you can be aware about the risk that you are involved. So you have to be aware about these risks. Yeah, and sometimes you have to guess what other driver is gonna do. Okay, so it is a kind of thing that you have to be always that you have to have always in your mind. Okay, be aware about that. And and I think that's a kind of thing that I think that this kind of motorcycle making me feel younger than I am. Yeah. Yeah, I think that this is a kind of thing that you because as you socialize, you talk a lot of sorry, a talk of bullshits with the groups. Yeah. And you are always laughing and we're always joking about the trips, about the accidents, about the histories, and so on. So it's another way to relax. And that's it. I think that's a kind that when you have it in your blood, it's hard to leave it. Yeah. So we know well about this. Yeah. When you participate some motorcycle groups, it's always funny. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, cool. I hope you share the same thoughts. And then we still have to wait a couple of months before Fabio's going to be here with his session. And then we're going to know more about motorcycles. Anyhow, Elcio, you have a question?
Hey guys, hi everyone, hi Renato. So I have a
Hi.
question about there is a ex sculpture in Santos to celebrate the 100, yes, 100 years of the immigration of the Japanese woman in Santos called, so I forgot the name, called Tomi Otaki. Did you
Tomio
already?
Otaki. Tomio
Yes,
Otaki. Tomio Otaki is a former I think that's a kind of architecture. She
yes,
died. She
Mhm.
died maybe 15 years ago, and she built this
monument.
yeah, this monument in a part of the beach. Yeah, and um, Santos was the first place where Japanese came during the Second World War. And I think for example, São Paulo is the second city in the world where you have more Japanese than Japan. Okay, to be the power of the immigration of Japanese people, but you have the same with Lebanese. Here in Brazil, you have the same with Lebanese people. You have the same with Italian people. You have with from people from all parts of the Europe. They move to Brazil, and they create a kind of culture in many parts of the country. Yeah. So Japanese has a strong power or weight in our culture. Yeah. So, but there was a ship called uh, I don't know I don't know if it's Tokyo Maru. I don't remember exactly the name of the ship that brought about 120, 130 Japanese from Japan to Brazil. And so Tomiotaki was one of the persons that honored Brazil creating this sculpture. Yeah. And Tomiotaki, she was a very important architect here in Brazil. Yeah.
Yes, that's a good point that you said because here I live in Feira de Santana today in Bahia, and here there is a lot of the Japanese people too, and another people like Chinese peoples and another things.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you were from Bahia as well. Did you know that, Fabio? Elcio is also a Baiano. That's cool. All right. Claudia, you have a question, please.
Yes, a quick question. How it was hard or easy for you to take the decision to retire? I know for some people it's hard to retire for whatever reason. Was that for you easy? Were you ready to retire? Or something that you did like, okay, this is my date and this is when I'm gonna retire, or was like a process going into retirement?
Well, Claude, this is an interesting question because I remember that when it was, let me see, 2016, before a meeting that I was responsible to manage. 2 days or 3 days before, I had to go to the hospital because I had a problem in my heart. It becomes bit accelerated. So when I was doing the meeting, I remember that I saw that a lot of people sat on about 200 people that I was addressing, and I was looking to do these people. So I think that I am in the end of a cycle. I'm at the end of a cycle. So I said, I think that's time to think about my retirement. Yeah. So I decided to leave the company that I worked for as a director, that time about as franchising director. And I gradually decided to take care of my company, my job. Okay. So I opened a consultants company. Yeah. To 2016, I started consulting a company, and I start to work. I start to do slow down. Okay, this is the right word. I start to slow down. Instead of staying traveling around the country, I decided to slow down. So I gradually stopped working. But I had always in my mind that I have to be productive. I have to do something, not to be a kind of lazy person. Okay, I think that I never be a person like that. So I decided to gradually uh, retire, you can say. Okay. So I stopped. Then after having this consultants company, I was a partner of another startup company in São Paulo, in the rental car area market. Yeah, I was partner of this company too. But in 2011, I decided to stop working to work in São Paulo. So I moved back to Santos. My mother was sick in bed that time, so that was another reason to come back to Santos. I think that I have do a lot, and I had done enough to live without need to work more. Okay, but I kept some consultants. I kept doing some consultants, and so I stop gradually. But I think that this is a trick problem. It's a trick subject, Claudia, because many people suffer when they retire. They don't prepare their retirement. Yeah? And I try to keep productive. I try to do my, as I told you, to run my motorcycle, to study English, to study other languages, to invest in the financial market and things like that. So I think that this is a kind of, and I go to the gym. I go to the gym twice a week. I stretch every day. My meals are very balanced. When I wake up, I try to drink water. Then I stretch for 10 minutes. Then I go to eat my breakfast, usually a big breakfast. So I try to, in my lunchtime, I like to eat vegetables and some greens. Yeah. So this is my how I think that I planned this kind of time in my life. Okay. And besides, I think that I have a mission in this life. Yeah, I have a mission. What is my mission? I think that I have to give back to my family and society the most I can for things that I had in my life. Okay, I think that's a kind of thing that I have to thank for all the things that God made me, that God gave me. So I have to thank a lot for God for that. Yeah. So this is I think that you have to join to make a kind of um, a technical retirement and the spiritual and physical retirement. I think that this is a plan. Okay. It sounds like a plan, as American like to say. It sounds like a plan. So I did that. I did that. So I feel good. As I told you, I'm 70 and I have to take care of 5 grandchildren. So I have to be in a good shape for this job.
All right, guys. Renato was
Thank
really,
you.
really nice. I think like now how you answered the last question, it was really amazing just to close the session today. However, I think we would be going for 2 or 3 hours, no problem whatsoever. There's so
Yeah.
much things that you can share with us and make us wiser. It was so cool. And I would like to know more about Vovô, Renato, but that's going to be
Yeah.
for next time.
Okay, I will.
For you guys, thank you so much for being
Okay,
here.
thank you,
Thank
everybody. See
you.
you. Have a
Thank you so
good
much.
Thank you,
weekend.
guys. Have a great
Bye-bye.
day.
See you
Have a
on
great
lovely
week.
weekend.
See you.
And I
Thank
see
you,
you
Denise.
guys
Have a
See
good
soon.
you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Renato.